Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Patera here with a quick video for you today on the subject of should you, would you, could you have supplemental lighting in your coop or in your barn during the winter months. I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm not going to beat around the bush, and I'm probably not going to be completely, kosher in talking about it, because I don't think there's really one way to. I think that, you either are one way or another with a lot of subjects, and I'm just going to state what I am and what I think and move on with it. I do not use supplemental lighting during the winter months for my hens. I have had hens for several years now, even prior to moving to a farm, which has simply allowed me a lot more land and a lot more animals, but we were fortunate enough to have hens on an urban farm, and we went through 2 seasons with them there, and I didn't use it then either. I am not a chicken expert, and I don't claim to be. And I also take the point of what you do with your farm and your homestead. That's your business. I wouldn't want somebody to tell me what to do, and I don't take kind to that, so I don't expect you to necessarily do what I do. I just sort of speak because I want you, whether you are a current homesteader, more particularly if you are a new homesteader, I hope you pay attention to what I'm saying, because regardless of whether or not you choose to take this route this winter, I think that I'm going to speak at a point or two that I think really is something everyone should think about. And it's a broad statement, meaning, think about this. If you are homesteading or going to homestead, what is your goal and your purpose? What type of homesteader are you trying or wanting to be? If you're claiming to be a certain type of homesteader, oh, we're so natural, and we do natural care for our hens and our goats, and we're natural. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, I don't mean in terms of what the USDA says. I'm talking about, I think we need to be very particular, number one, with who we choose to be, period. Regardless of whether we're on Facebook, whether we have a blog, whether we sell books, whatever we are. Number two, I think you need to think about, if you are claiming to be something, are you truly walking that walk? I do not feel that supplement lighting in the middle of winter, I'm sorry to say it like that, unnaturally forcing hens to lay eggs is not a natural and good way to go. If you were not putting that in the barn or the coop, would she be giving you eggs? We all know the answer is no. So the next logical conclusion is, some people do it because that's what they were told to do. I'm new at homesteading, or I'm new at getting chickens. I mean, I get this. There's people that come to me, and I welcome you to come all day long and ask a lot of questions because they do not know. I didn't know at some point either, and there's still things that I'm learning. I am telling you that you can seek advice. I would do it from different sources. You need to do your own homework, okay? Don't take what I say as it, and certainly don't take other sites that I see as it either. And I'm certainly not trying to be ugly to other people. I'm not. I think most of all, I think a lot of folks are doing a very good job. But what I fear is that there's newbies coming into the homesteading realm, and, they just take quick answers, and they do things. And you have to understand, some of these people may not be cut out for it. That's not a put down. When I mean that, I mean their life may change. They may flat out hate it. It happens. They may get a bunch of chickens and they don't want to do all that work. It's the way life is, the way society is, the way people are. Then you have these hens that have been taken in, and because the person did not understand the natural makeup and chemistry and life and reasoning and seasoning and whatever of these animals, their expectation is off. A lot of people think because they're going to get a bunch of chickens that they're going to get eggs 365 days a year. Not so. Your top laying hens, which are leghorns and black australorps, only give you about 300 if you're lucky. Some of them may only give you 280. There's 365 days in a year. So automatically, if you go for the top tier egg layers, they're not going to give you an egg every day. That's their natural cycle on a weekly basis and on a seasonal basis. I accepted that reality. I have hens. I have 2 or 3 hens right now that should have already been laying, and they're not. You know why? Because they're not a laying breed. I might get 100 eggs a year from them. So I've accepted that. I knew that when I took them in. So the moral of the story is, do your homework. Don't take mine, Mama Joe, Betty Sue, Tutti Frutti that's written a bestseller book. Everybody has a different opinion. Mama taught you that. And it's true. So you need to study these subjects on your own, and you need to say, what approach is best for me? Now, if you say, Sarah, you're full of it. These animals are here for me. I want my eggs. We're going to cull them at certain days and be done. I don't agree with that approach, but I can't stop you, and I'm certainly not going to argue with you about it, because I'm in the farming lifestyle, and there's a lot of people that have that mentality. And they're still good people. They just have a different approach. I do believe that I think God put her here to supplement me. But I don't think that I'm here to run her ragged and to abuse her either. Now, you're going to say, are you saying that I'm abusive because I put lighting? Well, no. But here's what you don't know. I hear a lot of people saying, my hens aren't laying anymore. They're old. Really? Well, how old are they? I got them about, I don't know, maybe there might be 2, 3, maybe. And I'm like, you don't get any eggs? And they're like, nope. So then when you start going through a couple of questions of how they raise their hens, how they supplement their hens, they're putting in the lights in the winter. Your hen is only going to give you X amount of eggs in her lifetime. And I have the approach that I want them to be as healthy and as natural as possible, so I extend that life period in terms of their health. I extend the overall period in which the time that they give me eggs. I mentally and physically prepare for slow seasons. I freeze my eggs. It's so easy. I freeze eggs. And I hate to tell you this, but if there has to be a week or 2 in the winter that I have to buy some organic eggs, I'm going to hate them like the dickens. But if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. So somebody might watch this and get really upset. I am apologizing to you if I've come across condescending or talking down. That's not my intention. I really want you to think about how you're approaching your farm. And I'm certainly not an expert, but things do need to be thought out, and things change. Maybe you've been doing things a certain way for a long time, and maybe you've had a change of heart, maybe you've had a change of experience, maybe you were given a book and given information that you've never considered. I think that's really the winning edge, is to go, regardless if I've been, doing something for 55 years or 30 years, there might be a better way. And I think that agriculture change, lifestyles change. And, I really believe that, I like to think back. I like to think about what would my great-great-grandmother have done. She was the ultimate homesteader. Chickens, butter, cows, pigs, the whole deal, okay? And I got to spend some time with her as a child, up until I was 16, really. And I spent a lot of time with her. And, she would talk about things, and my grandmother still tells me things. And so when I'm put into a moral dilemma, I look back and I go, what would Harpy do? She's my great-great-grandmother. What would she have done? She'd had a very real approach. And I think that she would say, you have to rest your hens. That's just what God intended. There's a resting period for them in the winter. The ground rests, nature rests, you should rest. You prepare for winter, and that's just part of it. So I hope you think about that. That's the way I sort of think of it, and I hope this helps you. If you are thinking about getting hens, this is my final point, and you want to be an egg machine, okay? If you want to be, I want eggs as much as physically possible, then you need to get the breeds that offer eggs the most. It's not going to be your pretty little, fancy colored egg layers. They still are pretty good. They're going to be your leghorns, your australorps. Those are awesome. Your black stars and your red stars. Those are some of your top best. That's why if I filmed a video a week or two ago on picking chickens. The #1 breed I told you to get, if you're getting chickens, is the black star. I mentioned my experience because I have black stars. I don't have the red stars. I will be getting some. Because I know in my mind that they are good birds in terms of, how, for your children. They're a fair amount of ease to take care of, and they lay eggs better than anybody out there. Okay? So that's why I tell new homesteaders that breed in particular, especially if you're a backyard homesteader first starting out, because you don't want that letdown. You don't want that, if I tell you to go if I give you a Polish and she lays you 85 eggs a year, you're probably going to be really disappointed. And a lot of people associate that experience with everything. And it's not. It takes a long time to come to that reasoning that it's everything, every one of them's different. That comes with time. So that's what I'm saying. If you're a new homesteader, if you want a lot of eggs, then you need to think about those top layers. And then once you get experience and you figure out, how to do all this, if you want to start adding the fancy breeds such as the Morans and, the Welsumers and all these beautiful things, because they do not lay as often. And there's no way I'm going to force lay my Morans or my Welsumers or my, Araucanas. I'm just not going to do that. I want them to be as healthy and rested, and when spring rolls around and the buds come in and daylight extends, well, honey, we'll be rolling them eggs out like nobody's business. So think about these things. Think about what type of homesteader you want to be. Pray about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And again, do your homework, okay? Please do your own homework. So check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. And, if you think we're kind of cool, then sort of, think about subscribing also here on YouTube. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate your input and all of your support. Things are just going so great here. And we are so glad to bring you along for the ride. Hope this helps. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.